This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And today we just found out Fortnite is going to be officially recognized as a high school varsity sport. And for college.
Finally been able to play sports. I'm just kidding, of course.
Listen, okay? This is not a sport.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make a controversial statement here. Esports and sports are not the same thing. And varsity to me means you've met the qualifications of some kind of athletic event.
Mm-hmm.
All right? I feel the same way about, and I was on the quote-unquote varsity choir at the school I went to. I don't feel like it means the same thing. All right? Come up with a different designation. Maybe have e-varsity.
I think it's fine calling it varsity. What I have a problem with is, is the sport thing. But again, if you think about it, how do you define a sport? I mean, it does take skill to be good at these games. And I always think it's sort of strange when people like spend hours watching people playing a video game. But it's the same idea as like someone spending hours watching football. I don't play football, but I enjoy watching football. It's I guess a similar concept
Maybe.
as someone, yeah.
But
this seems wrong to me as well.
It does seem wrong. I might be a traditionalist on this, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't view sports the same way as I view video games. And because of that, I don't know if I'll ever agree with this designation. Like, for one, it doesn't promote behavior that I consider like an improvement to yourself. Like, video games can be fun and entertaining for you, and they can... But Fortnite is just not that type of game. All right? It's a shooter. Twitch shooter. That's what it is. Not like Twitch, like the
I know
streaming platform, like Twitch Reflex shooter.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really. It takes skill, but it doesn't train you to do anything different. It doesn't train your thinking to be different. It doesn't do anything that would be considered positive for your brain waves, but it is fun and entertaining. All right, and I don't care if you play it. That's fine. I don't care if you even stream it and people watch you and you make money from it. That's fine. I just don't think this fits the same role as a varsity sport.
Yeah.
Like,
this is the world that we live in now, though.
I know.
Pretty soon it's going to be like that one movie where you can actually just take over someone's mind and play with a real person.
Gamer.
And like you're shooting real people. That's coming next, man.
Yeah, but those cons, right?
Yeah. Pretty soon it's going to be like that. You're going to be able to take over a football player when you're playing Madden, and you're going to be able to run.
If you're going to comment on this movie, have you watched this movie?
Yes.
Okay. So you know about the life simulator thing they had going on where like people were doing whatever they wanted with the bodies of other people.
Yes, I know.
So it's like the Sims.
We didn't have to get into that part.
Anyways, that would be a scary thought. I'm not a fan of that idea at all.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as reeling it back into what we're talking about here, there's like an internal voice in my head screaming, "This is not right." Like, I know Epic Games is probably pumping tons and tons of money into,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, MHSAA or what have you, to get this into the sporting designation, right? And that's good when you pump money into schools and you can see some kind of a return on the resources to promote better education, but I just don't think this...
Well, it's actually kind of a screwy concept, so I wasn't actually thinking about this past this year. But, I mean, right now, Fortnite's big. But what in 10 years, like, what are you going to do? It's no longer a sport then, right? Because presumably Fortnite's not going to be around in 10 years. Something else is going to take its place.
Maybe.
So instead of just having, like, an esports team that plays a variety of esports, you're going to have, like, a Fortnite team and that's it? But again, like, even in 10 years, okay, Fortnite's still around. What about 50 years? You really think Fortnite's going to last 50 years?
I think Madden will.
But at least then it's like an iteration, so every year you have a new game. Fortnite's, like, I mean, they have seasons, but it's been the same game. Eventually they're going to...
Dude, did you see Fortnite 2 came out?
It's essentially the same damn thing. It's just another season they've slapped a different title on it.
So here's my final thoughts on this, all right? Epic Games got this into competitive league play and collegiate and high school levels by pumping money into the schools. So now we're in a conflict of interest here. Which games get to be varsity sports, right? Is it the game that gets the most money pumped into it? Or is it the game that's the most popular? Is it the game with the most mass appeal? Is it the game that requires the most skill? How do you decide that? Right now it's based on whoever's pumping the most money out. That's Epic Games.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's sort of how it is with every sport. A lot of schools don't have all the sports because they only have the ones that are either most popular or, they have the most money coming in. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So what video game company has the most money today could go defunct tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So we could be looking at EA and Madden being a professional. It already is technically a professional thing. You can stream Madden and make money. No, I mean, it could be a high school sport, varsity. Like, you have varsity Madden players. Can you imagine having your varsity Madden team next to your varsity football team? You're going to be looking at completely different ranges of athletic skill.
Unless it's the same people. Don't judge, Chris. It could be the same.
I'm just saying the skills that are required to play Madden are different than the skills required to play football.
This is true. Mm-hmm.
So you could have somebody built like me and Will playing on the Madden varsity team, and then you could have like super athletic people playing on the football team, and it'd be kind of interesting to see what the difference in people and varsity players would be. Yeah,
I mean, that's true with every sport, though.
Yeah, it's fair. You could have people like me and Will playing tennis sitting next to the football team, and we're both varsity sports players.
At least pull the sport that we actually were varsity in. I was varsity baseball and swimming, man. Come on.
Anyways, and it's so weird to think that you could have varsity Fortnite players next to your varsity football players, and that's my take. I just can't picture it in my head.
That's assuming they'll be friends.
Well, at the assemblies, they'd all be sitting next to each other. That's how they did the varsity sports, right? Anyways, that's my hot take. Fortnite, varsity.
This seems weird. It doesn't feel right.
No. As always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And we will see you
in the next CHRILLCAST. Toodles.